I don't know if you heard the nonsense that came out of Jason Whitlock's mouth, but it's mind-boggling. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Jason Whitlock went on Tucker Carlson and was talking about the Tyre Nichols case, Tyre Nichols' murder, and decided to blame the murder of Tyre Nichols by a bunch of police officers on black women, on single black women, single black mothers, so-called baby mama culture. That's what he's blamed for Tyre Nichols' murder. People are actually acting like there's any sense to the nonsense, to the absolute drivel that came out of Jason Whitlock's mouth. What? Because he's talking about Severlin J. Davis, who's the chief of police, a black woman. You can easily just Google and find out that she's not a single baby mama. She's a married woman. Publicly available information says that she is a married woman. She's married with a child. So your single baby mama nonsense goes out the window right then and there. And then the fact that you're trying to attribute the behavior of those men to single mothers, not a shred of evidence to support any claim that these men were raised by single mothers. But this is what he's going with. This is the narrative he chooses to promote. And this is basically Jason Whitlock's MO. Just make stuff up. Doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. Doesn't matter how untrue it is. Just make stuff up, spout nonsense that fits a certain narrative and run with it. And keep getting invited on Tucker Carlson. Because that's what this is about. This is about Jason Whitlock saying stupid shit that scumbags like Tucker Carlson can sit there and say, well, I didn't say it. The black guy said it. That's what Jason Whitlock, a fat piece of who just lies on air for views, for clicks, to keep getting invited on Tucker Carlson, to get people watching his YouTube show, and to get more contracts with these right-wing scumbag organizations that don't actually want to solve problems. They just want to paint a picture, particularly of black people. And so right now he's decided to grift off of the black manosphere and paint particularly negative pictures of black women, despite the fact that black women had nothing to do with that situation. There wasn't a black woman in sight of that situation, but somehow he wants to blame black women. And there are some clowns in the manosphere who want to run with this. I actually saw and was pleased to say, he was like, okay, good look. Anton Daniels pushed back and said, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. Jason Whitlock actually came on and he said, oh, are you here to apologize and admit that you're wrong? And Jason Whitlock refused to admit that he's wrong, which is funny because Jason Whitlock talks about accountability and integrity and manhood, but he was acting like a little bitch, refusing to acknowledge that he did not know what he was saying, that he just made stuff up because he's like, oh, well, I used imprecise language. Guess what, Jason? Do you know what a synonym for the word imprecise is? Wrong. You were wrong. It wasn't even that you were just wrong. You just made it up. You just made some up to spout on Tucker Carlson, and you knew that he would eat it up because he's like, I don't know how you come up with this nonsense, but it makes black people look bad, so I'm here for it. He refused. He's talking to Anton Daniels, and he refuses to acknowledge that he's wrong. He wants to dance around like the beta bitch that he is, imprecise, and trying to justify the fact that he spoke with no knowledge. And it's not the first time he's done it. It's not the only time he's done it. He talked about how maybe one day Cardi B will get married, despite the fact that this woman's been married since 2017. He's a fucking idiot. Jason Whitlock is a fucking idiot, a liar, and a coward. But here's the thing. In addition to the fact that he had no evidence to support any of the assertions he made about the people involved, the fact that it makes no sense, there's no logic to it, where single mothers are related to these men beating Tyre Nichols to death. This isn't the first time cops have done this. This isn't the only time cops have done this. Because he also tries to say, oh yeah, this is what happens when black men get together in numbers. Basically, anytime there's a group of black men, bad stuff is going to happen. Well, then how do you explain all of the time white police officers have done this exact same thing? Rodney King, like we saw this shit in the 90s. We saw this shit in the 90s on camera, and they weren't the product of black single mothers. So what's your excuse then? We can look back last year. Last year, white cops were beating up this guy in Arkansas. They're beating the shit out of him. Don't realize they're on cell phone video. What's your excuse then? You see, this is what I'm saying. This motherfucking clown just makes stuff up and then ignores the mountain of evidence that demonstrates he is a complete and utter shameless idiot. You can look at Amadou Diallo's murder. 41 shots. 41 shots fired at a guy holding a wallet. Then we can go to Abner Louima. Once again, white cops. So for you to make this, to refuse for Jason Whitlock to be such a scumbag, to be such a coward, to refuse to acknowledge that this is an endemic problem with police, and try to make it about black men being in a group or single black mothers, shows you how much of a coward Jason Whitlock is. A spineless coward who can't even speak truth to power because he won't get invited back on Fox News anymore. Tucker Carlson won't bring him back on if he actually speaks truth to power. He'll lose his contract with the Blaze if he speaks truth to power. But he's a bitch. That's what bitches do. And to further demonstrate that, his entire description of what a man should do, of being obedient, of submitting to authority, no. This idea he has of manhood is actually the idea of boyhood. That's what boys do. Boys submit to authority. Men are the authority. That's the difference. This dude doesn't even understand manhood. So he doesn't understand basic facts. He doesn't understand logic, and he doesn't understand manhood. Because as a man, your job is not to just submit to any authority. No, if the cops are wrong, you stand up. That's what manhood is. Standing up for something, not just submitting to anything because, oh, it's the law, or, well, they told me to. But Jason Whitlock doesn't understand manhood either, and he's a fat coward. I don't know if you've realized it, but I'm not a fan of Jason Whitlock. And I've seen him do weaselly like this before, which is why, like, this is not just an aberration. This is what he does. Like, he will change facts. He will try to alter his beliefs or the things he's saying in order to fit whatever grift he's currently engaging in. I've seen him do it before. And in fact, I'll probably be doing a video about one of the times not too long ago that he did it. And it's just, once again, mind-boggling how much of a coward and how much of a spineless, lying coward that Jason Whitlock is. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. But if you disagree with me, go ahead and give me the thumbs down and stay in the comment section why you think Tyre Nichols was wrong to run for his life. I'll see you next time.